Welcome to Chainlink Live. We are live. Hey, everybody. My name is Andy Boyan from Chainlink Labs. I'm here with a variety of musician avatars around me that we're going to talk a lot about Synthopia today. We're going to talk about EDM. We're going to talk about music and Chainlink VRF and how these things come together. Awesome to have you all here. Let's go around the horn a little bit. Lucas, how are you doing today?
Oh, everything is great. Really excited to present and finally show the people I've been working on for all these months. It was quite a nice journey and was a very nice collaboration, and can't wait for everybody to see what's up.
I'm really excited. I've been super lucky. Like I talk to projects who are doing NFT plays and DeFi and all the time. And so, a few months ago, NFTs start coming out, and now it's a bunch of projects who are a little more complicated projects sometimes are coming out to fruition and releasing stuff. And so I got to talk to some pretty amazing projects like this one as well. Gramatik, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Love talking to you guys. I've been a Gramatik fan for a few years. I was on Turntable FN. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah, I do remember. That's awesome.
And there was a ton of great lo-fi there, and so that's kind of where I got exposed to you and your music. And so it's awesome to meet you and learn more about what you guys have been building.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We're stoked to be here. It's been a really busy day trying to make sure that we sync everything that's going on with code claiming and this AMA. So we're definitely high energy around here.
Good. Get your Mountain Dew in you and keep going.
Yeah. It's three coffees so far.
3 coffees. I got my tea right here. I love this. I can be like a hardcore tech bro, but I've got a fancy ladies tea set.
Oh, nice. I love it.
But it's Christmas time, so
yeah, it's perfect.
NFT boy, how are you doing? Where are you at? Where are you from? How you feeling today?
Hey, yeah, feeling good, man. I'm based out of Northern California. Kind of crazy morning with the code claiming. We just released the whitelist code claiming our Discord server. So that's fun. It's always things happen at the last minute. Even though worked yesterday. So, but it's so far so good. So things are going.
It never goes perfect, and if it does, you should be really suspicious. So that's okay. So people with questions. If people have questions, that's good. That means they're engaged, and we're seeing more people enter here. Hi, everybody. My name's Andy Boyan from Chainlink Labs, and we're starting our conversation with fellows from Synthopia launching. Hopefully, you're coming from their Discord as well to see that. I don't know how to say your name. I forgot. What is it? TR666.
Yeah, TR666. Hey, thanks for having us on. It's great to be here, and exciting morning. And it's nice to see you all, like Lucas and Gramatik and NFT. We did a bunch of in-person collaboration early on, and then we've kind of been getting last-minute things done and talking on Discord. But nice to be here in person today.
Oh, cool. So we get like a meeting of the minds as the release is happening. You guys collaborate, and then, you work, and then you kind of come together at the end. This is kind of like, a little summary space. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks for that.
Hey, I do what I can anytime. To the audience watching, welcome. We're going to get started here asking a lot more about the project. If you have questions, feel free to drop those in the comments. We will get to them as we can. We're going to get started here on Chainlink Live. Welcome to Chainlink Live. My name is Andy Boyan with Chainlink Labs, and I'm here talking to the Synthopia project, TR666, NFT boy, Gramatik, and Lucas. You guys have been working with your whitelist codes in your Discord today. Congratulations on that. But let's get into a little bit about details about the project. Why don't you start? What do the Synthopia NFTs really bring to the fans of music, to people who want to get involved with the music in some way? How do they stand out?
Who wants to go?
First.
I can pick somebody. I'll use a randomizer. Ready?
Yeah.
Gramatik, you're off mute. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So Synthopia is very unique project and something that I'm personally really excited about because to the best of my knowledge, this has never been done before. This extent and mainly because of the groundbreaking DAW, which is the digital audio workstation that NFT Boy and TR666 have built, that it's really mind-blowing. Like, it works inside browser, and it works as a digital version of a modular synthesizer. And for people in the audio engineering community and the music production community know like what a modular synthesizer is and how difficult it is to actually make a simulation, and much less a simulation that works in the browser. So basically, like, what we were able to do by using their DAW, we produced a song all completely in the browser. And because it works as a modular synth and has oscillators and stuff like that, we were able to truly make a generative music project by randomizing, by being able to randomize parameters on every node within that represents a stem. In like every node within the song represents a stem, like a musical stem in the song. And we have like incredible, like unprecedented options to randomize parameters and set ranges so that the results are musical, so that that the merging doesn't result in some dissonant, unpleasant, musical way. Because like when you do that with JPEGs, you can do that all day, and even if like results are weird, it's not going to be unpleasant the way it is when you listen to musical stems put together in a weird way that's dissonant and out of tune.
So this is what's mind-blowing to me, and I can't wait to get into this. If I look at your Bored Ape, right, if we took that and randomized the pixels, it would not show up as like a coherent project. It might be cool, it might be an artistic representation, like what I got back here, right? It's just pixels.
Yeah.
It's like a thing, but to have it come out as an actual piece of art is just mind-blowing. But because of the mathematics of music and the way that it's built, they are randomized, yet they still are configurable. They're Legos and they fit together. And this is why this project is another level, and I love it. Because I wondered about that in the past. Like, how do you make this? Like, it's going to be dissonant. Now, for the record, I'm a metalhead. I love dissonant music. Like, I'm all about it. But that's just the way you guys are approaching this is really, really exciting.
Yeah, that's what I said, like unpleasant dissonance, because dissonance can be really cool. Like jazz, it's all about cool dissonance, the dissonance that's actually pleasant to listen to. But there's such a thing as unpleasant dissonance, and that's what we were trying to avoid. And to make sure that whatever the result is, it's still musical and it's within like the parameters of music theory, So the fact that we were able to do that, like it's the only reason is because the way this DAW works, and it wouldn't be possible otherwise. Like you can make like kind of generative music NFTs by merging stems, which you're already baked in audio. You can make a song in Ableton, for example, and export stems in audio and then try to merge those in different ways, but you're very limited because you don't really, once it's baked in audio, you decimate the possibilities of randomization and manipulation of individual stems in the song. And that's why I think this is one of a kind, and it's never been done before, because this kind of DAW hasn't existed before,
NFT Boy, can you talk a little bit about the NFTs themselves? What do they represent? They're a digital asset. It's like a blockchain digital asset, non-fungible, but what does it represent? What does it attach to in the DAW or in the track?
Yeah, definitely. So we're using on-chain data as the seed for everything else. And that includes the randomization for the parameters that Gramatik was talking about, and also the randomization for the visual that you'll see once we reveal the NFT. And so that's where we're starting. And we have a method to add, any libraries that are required to play the music in browser to the smart contract itself. So all this stuff will be on chain and will be, you'll be able to create it, say, we all go away, like all the data is going to be there for you to recreate this audio directly in your browser. And that's kind of the really bleeding edge part, is that this audio is synthesized locally in the browser, right? So we can have an arbitrarily large amount of NFTs and the storage amount for all that audio is like, a couple megabytes, whereas that's just impossible before this technology.
So you don't have to host a WAV file on the blockchain, but rather there's NFTs the blockchain already has, their token standards. And when the DAW, when Audioglyphs looks at the NFTs, it combines them and then it produces the music in the browser.
Yeah, kind of. So like there's a seed which is associated with the NFT, and then the in-browser libraries use that seed to create the audio.
Okay, cool. That's cool, right? So there's on-chain digital stamps of property, of essences, these seeds that are just out there, and they're hosted on chain and other places. But then locally, right, off chain, things are produced so you get this musical sound. But that at last, that's a really fascinating sort of angle on this. Can you guys talk a little bit about NFT Boy and TR666 about the DAW, about Audioglyphs? Like, where did this come from? Why is browser audio workstations particularly useful right now? And is there a tie-in with metaverse plays that you guys are thinking about with this?
Yeah, definitely. Like putting the audio creation software in the browser is like almost a strange fit. Like you really care about performance when you're making music. Like you're going to be using a lot of intensive effects and things like that. But what drives like the need to put it in the browser is this idea of local synthesis, where we ship you the program that creates the music, and then you run that program on your own computer and it creates the music. And so that's really cool because it allows something like these NFTs where we can put things on chain, and you like from the program being on chain and from seeds on chain, you can sort of create these infinite variations where it would be like, terabytes of audio files if we wanted to render 10,000 fully rendered songs. Also, you have all these options, like with local synthesis, you can have inputs from your own computer. So it could be, we could ship one where you can play the keyboard along with it. Or we could ship one where it reacts to a really slow cycle over years. Or other inputs from your phone, like the weather locally or something like that, right? So it has these other possibilities, and the other thing is it can sort of have an infinite duration. So with the Synthopia audio, we've made these generative song structures, so it really will sound like a song with like new voices coming in and leaving and some build-ups and things like that. But the structure will loop, and there are these other aspects of the modulation that aren't in line completely with the structure. So if you listen to it, the second repeat won't be exactly the same as the first, and the third won't be the same as the second. And that's something that's not possible with the traditional audio format. So we've called this like the new audio format for the metaverse. And I think like the idea is like as people's experiences of using the internet, using computers changes to be something that's more like immersive, that the way that we listen to music can do that too, where like instead of maybe like just getting a song and it's the same song for everyone and you hear it, it's like you can buy an NFT and it's your unique version that can go on forever, or that can react to what you're doing in the metaverse. And so like the possibilities for like what that means, I think like are not even figured out yet, but something like this format gives you so much more flexibility to make that happen. Like one thing that works really well with the metaverse is like you can have 3 audio in this local synthesis format, right? So that as you move around in the metaverse, you can hear different things as if you're at a live concert. Like you could never do that with an audio file.
When I think about metaverse, I think about gaming and soundtracks. And in a movie soundtrack, when something exciting happens, music pumps up. That's all curated. And if I had somebody follow me around curating my soundtrack in my head, that would be cool, but it's totally inefficient. However, if there is an adaptive track that updates based on weather or social situations nearby or whatever, engaging in activities in a virtual space, like that's what this feels like. It feels like, oh, well, things are updating based on on-chain information or off-chain information that might be the start of that sort of thing. I could just be going crazy now on this, but
that's very, very well said. A good way to put it. That's exactly what this enables, like music that responds to anything you want it to respond to.
God, that's a weird and wild idea. I love it, you guys. Oh shoot. One question about the Audioglyphs, the DAW, before we move on is, um, it being in a browser, does it change the performance? Like, can I run it on a lesser computer? Do I still need a pretty beefy machine, or does that change that at all? Does it let other people with kind of sub top of the line machines come in?
There's some performance costs. We've done a lot to like push the limits as far as we can for performance. So there's some things where we've like written things in native code and compiled to something called WebAssembly that lets you run near native code with almost the same performance that you'd get outside of the browser. But with Synthopia, like Gramatik and Lucas really pushed the boundaries of what the DAW can do. So like it won't play back on some people's phones, and we're going to render audio files anyways for those people. But like the local synthesis format will be on chain, and then as computers get better, you know, it's going to play on your headphones or whatever. And the other thing is, like, you know, if you have it, you can use the local synthesis format even if your computer wasn't strong enough to play it. And like it'll play on anyone's computer, but just like an older iPhone or something might not be able to do it live. But you can render it locally, not in real time, and download an audio file, and you can control like how long you want that to be, and you can download the individual tracks, so you can like you know, remix them yourself or anything like that. So even if your computer isn't quite strong enough to handle the local synthesis, you can still get the audio and interact with it.
And I can use it as a DAW. It's like it's a in browser DAW, so I could make my own creations as well. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, for the audio, you know, files and heads out there trying to figure out how they're going to use this, just wanted to make sure people have access. We're going to have links to all this stuff down below in the description too. So if you're watching, if you're just joining us, my name's Andy Boyan. I'm here talking to the Synthopia team. Although each of you has pronounced Synthopia slightly differently, I've noticed. TR, you said Synthopia, Gramatik said Synthopia. So like whatever it is, maybe it's just up to our interpretation. That's okay. But one of the cool things we talked about earlier is and how you guys are using Chainlink. So hi, this is Chainlink official YouTube, and Chainlink is being used in Synthopia for Chainlink VRF, which is an on-chain randomizer to randomize where these stems are going to make these, you know, unique creations of music. So how do you do it? What is the magic? Lucas, we haven't heard from you yet, so maybe we'll start with you. Musically, how do you get a random assembly of stems and pieces of a song and actually have them come out in a musical manner?
So yeah, first of all, as Gramatik already said, and all the guys, so we're working with the core from the oscillators, you know, so that allows us to manipulate the sound without degrading it. If we would using samples, then applying pitch shifting or stretching, time stretching, that would all apply some. I mean, even if the algorithms are already good, there's still some distortion happening, right? It's adding or taking off bits, you know. And since we can do that, then when we have the values, we spent a lot of time creating musical limits. Right, so basically just not to limit it too much, but not too little, you know, which this was the challenge and the thing that took a lot of time, you know, because the Audioglyphs DAW was already set up. We knew what was going on, you know, we had fun making the track. But then the next step, which was like making sure that everything that will come out of the regeneration part, I would say, that was the tricky bit. And when it happened, we were all really happy, you know. It was like, okay, don't touch it now, leave it like that, you know. Let's just pick details, because it was quite a challenge.
Perfect song.
No, because it's true, because also you don't want to limit it too much, you know, because then you lose this, you know, it gets too conformed. At the same time, you know, you don't want it to go wild, and also the sounds to go out of our audio spectrum, you know, so we can't even hear them, you know. So yeah, we're really happy with it. We can't wait to put it out, you know, because I don't know, it was really exciting hearing all these versions going over and over. It's like, oh yeah, listen to this. We were sending each other stuff, you know, like, oh, listen to this one. So really excited about that.
Well, that almost feels like the music creation process, right? You're producing something and you make something. You've got options. like, oh, this sounds cool and this sounds cool, and maybe you find some piece that doesn't fit in this song, but like that's its own new track, right? And that's how you kind of move on it. But now you're doing it in multiple ways and like letting people choose their own adventure almost, or in this way, in one piece of music.
Yeah, everything changes from tempo to pitches to of each individual sounds to the arrangement. You know, everything as much as possible. We put it in there. You know.
One of my favorite albums, I was just looking for it. It's called Recomposed. It's by a composer named Max Richter. It's a classical, but he takes the four seasons of Vivaldi's Four Seasons, which is like this perfect epic, symphony, and he revises it. He remixes it essentially and does his own take on it. And it's familiar, it's cool, it's interesting, but then it takes you to new places. That newness of music, especially probably for people here. I love new music. I hate hearing the same song 1,000 times over and over again. I like new takes on it and exploration. It's part of what excites me so much. Gramatik, how did you approach this and think about the musicality and the newness of this?
This was like a hugely important thing, like what Lucas said, that we are able to manipulate sound at the core of it. So like that every note is basically its own synthesizer, as if you would be adjusting oscillators and filters, and the generation of the sound itself, like it all, which at the same time represents one of the instrument stems in the song. And the fact that it all happens at lossless audio quality was crucial, because then you would, with warping baked audio, even if the algorithm is amazing, there's always going to be problems and degrading of the quality of the audio itself. And so your possibilities are immediately very limited, unless you don't care about degrading the quality, which we're audiophiles, so we're very, very against that. And so that made it possible. And the fact that, I if it wasn't for Lucas, I wouldn't even take on this project, because like Lucas is the patch bay master when it comes to modular synths. Like his brain just is connected with signal flow thinking on a higher level that I will never be able to achieve. And like he just knows, like he can do this all day in the studio. When we do it with hardware modular synths, like he can patch all day and understand what like in advance where he's going, like, which is like, that's how you know that somebody is like in tune with the signal flow of racks and modules and everything that comes along with like rerouting sound from one module into another to achieve a musical like goal, and so yeah, he's the backbone of this. And like when we first started working with Audioglyphs guys, like it was actually like a very ESP type of situation, where like we were discussing, Lux and I were discussing, like, I wonder if there's a way of doing generative music with merging. We were just considering, that was like probably in the summer, sometime in the summer, we were considering if we could merge stems, like I just explained, like regular audio stems, if we were to just break down a song into audio stems and merge them in a way where it wouldn't be like horrible, and so they would make musical sense and also not be degraded in audio quality. And then like I think I stumbled upon Audioglyphs on Twitter when I was looking for, we asked a couple of Solidity devs that we knew, and they were like, yeah, we don't know how to help you with that. We haven't really experimented.
Pretty weird request.
Yeah, with generative audio. And so like then we found Audioglyphs, and we were like, these guys seem to be like already doing something similar with Audioglyphs. It's not as musical as we would want it to be, but they seem to have the smart contract and stuff like that figured out. And then like as I was getting ready to hit him up, I think NFT Boy hit me up on Twitter and basically asked me, told me about Audioglyphs DAW, and asked me if I would be down to collab, with them. And I was like, shit, I was just getting ready to ask you guys if you can create a smart contract for this. And I didn't even imagine that they have a DAW that is able to do this on such a high level, because we were skeptical at first. Like when they sent us access to the DAW, like Lucas and I was like, there's no way we can make a full song in the browser. Like there's like, let's see what this is about. And then Lucas opened and started patching, and he's like, holy shit, this is a real modular synthesizer with everything, the whole 9 yards. And it's like, then we were just blown away and got so excited that out of that excitement and patching and figuring things out, the Synthopia Prime song came to life. And as we were working on it, we were also like helping them perfect like some stuff in terms of like the usability and capabilities of the DAW itself, and discovering bugs that they were able to fix on the fly. And we were like, well, can you guys make so that this has this much value or this many parameters? And like, yeah, that would be cool. And then that's, as we were making the songs, we were also making the DAW better. And the whole experience was like, to me, really exciting thing to be a part of. And
sometimes art demands to be created, and like a confluence of factors comes together, and it's just like, no, this must happen. And it just sounds like this journey, that it's an awesome story. I love the way the pieces kind of come together. You guys are searching for similar solutions.
Yeah,
a little serendipity, and then the art, it forces itself, right?
It sounds cheesy, but it feels like it was meant to be, because it was like a huge ESP moment where I was getting ready to hit him up and they hit me up first. And it's like that kind of stuff really excites me when it happens in life. It just makes it feel like the life is more than just like what it appears to be on the surface, you know.
You guys are musicians, and NFT Boy and TR666, you're obviously working in the music space. This discussion about modular synthesizers reminds me of an interview I saw with Moby, and he was talking about the early days when all, half, if not 80% of building electronic music was finding a cable to go into your weird, box that you found in Germany, and then this one from Soviet Russia, and then this one from Brazil that got hacked together. Like, it was just a matter of like, technology and really splicing together things. And it sounds like that, right? But now you're taking a digital aspect, splicing them together and figuring out how to make them in a new way. And now you're extending it even further and adding things to distributed ledgers, to blockchains, adding these NFT tokens to it, and really pushing those limits. So I love seeing, kind of music history coming to new innovation. Very exciting to me.
I actually, that's exciting. And I know the thing that the Moby thing you're referencing, and he's also like a big synth head. And like, that's another thing. Like, once the DAW gets released, with a DAO and everything, like, I'm really excited to see what some of my peers and people in the music industry on the electronic music side who are really into modular synths and been doing it for like way longer than us, who are like OGs. I'm really excited to see what kind of music they will create with it, and what kind of generative projects that will like yield, because like there's the possibilities are really endless. Like, even after working on it for like 4 or 5 months, I'm still blown away that you can actually do this, when you really think about it, that you can produce a song in a digital space the way you would with modular synthesizers in the hardware setup. And that stuff is really expensive. It's a really expensive sport. Like, just one rack is like 30 to 40 grand, and like people like Deadmau5 and Junkie Excel, those guys have millions of dollars worth of like modular racks, in their studios. And when they try this out and see how well it simulates that environment and that setup, there's no way they're not going to be excited and come up with something really, really cool,
NFT Boy and TR666, I'll start with you, but I want to hear from the musicians as well. Decentralizing music kind of takes it from this step. I step back and I look at music formats and channels, for composed music, written sheet music, to stamped or carved wax and vinyl, to magnetic tape with cassette tapes, to CDs, right? And all the way to the MP3 and digital formats that we have today. I feel like, this is totally my opinion, decentralizing these files and like making them available on a blockchain adds this different layer of whatever it is, tangibleness, like something you can almost grip, even though it's digital. Do you guys think about this as you're making these tools? Like, you're extending the musical revolution in very tangible ways? Have you thought about this? Do you process this? And if so, what do you think about that?
It's, I think you're right. It's easy to get, when you're building, you're caught up in what you're building. You don't think about the bigger picture as much, at least for me. I just get on the computer, I'm coding, and it doesn't really sink in that what you're building could be, a game changer. But like, I guess me and TR666, like early conversations did include stuff about this can really change music. Like, this is a new way to make music. And it really is like a new way to make music for the metaverse. And just combining the technology with NFTs, like, not only is it a new way to make music, it's a new way to monetize music, it's a new way to collect music, and it's just the beginning, right? I think like there's always a point of experimentation, before there's world-changing technology, and I think we're in that experimentation phase, and it's a very fun phase. It's like just seeing what works, what doesn't work, and we have a whole bunch of builders, just experimenting with this new technology, which is NFTs, blockchain, and now we've, added generative music to the mix. It's still very early, but I've been in NFTs since 2017, and I've always known that they're going to change things. In what way, yet to be seen, but we see the world is catching up, and the world is saying, yes, these do change things. Digital ownership is now a reality. Anything that an artist can create can now be monetized via an NFT, whether it's music or digital art, or there's people talking about chefs and recipes. It opens up a whole new world of monetization for different kinds of art and collecting different kinds of art in new ways. So it's very exciting. And yes, so like, I think we are very aware that this is a game changer, and this will change, at least in some part, music.
Yeah. You think about when new technologies come out and you give it to inventive people, new stuff happens. And like I said, I'm a metalhead, so I love it when new amps, like with, different vacuum tube formations come out, and that you can get these classic sounds and all that, to see that sort of newness come out. But it feels like that sort of thing is happening now in EDM as well, in digital music. Gramatik?
Yeah, I mean, the algorithms are getting better by the day, and like we're soon going to reach a point, like, what they call in like 3D world, like the uncanny valley and stuff like that. Like, we're going to reach a point in the audio where basically, like, the algorithms are so advanced that it's completely tricking our ears into not being able to detect whether the sound is analog or simulated. And then that's going to be a huge breaking point, I think, because even like to the regular listener, even today, like, it's already so advanced that they wouldn't be able to tell if this is coming from analog gear or simulated VST. But to those of us who are doing this every day and are deep in the culture of music production and audio engineering, we can still tell the difference. But it's getting like some stuff, it's already so good that even we get tricked, and it's just a matter of tricking the ear. It's same with movies. It's like there's no such thing as motion pictures. It's like it's all like picture. It only takes 24 frames per second to trick the eye into thinking it's seeing motion. With ear, it's much more difficult to trick. It's a way more complex organ to trick, and it takes higher quality of algorithmic process, but we're really close. We're really close, and it's like that's a thing that excites me, because it also makes it possible to achieve the same kind of quality that you would get in an analog world, in the virtual and in the metaverse, ultimately, of course, and not having to give up any of the quality, and also makes it more accessible and affordable, because studio gear in general, it's very expensive, it's like historically it's been very much only for privileged people who can afford to build a studio and stuff like that. Like when I was a kid, like, because I don't come from money, like I never thought I would have enough money to build a real studio ever, you know. So it's like, because I knew like how expensive it is, and it's like in the metaverse people will be building studios, you know, virtually, and everything that they'll do in it will be on par, you know, with what you can accomplish in the real world with expensive hardware gear, you know.
And that changes the dynamic of art, of who's creating it, right? You have kids coming from nothing who can now, for log onto their library computer maybe and
Yeah.
build some studio grade stuff. Like I can't wait to hear that, right?
Yeah,
That's a new experience.
Yeah, that began with the early 2000s when me and Lucas were in high school, and we were like, you know, like 8th grade to first year of high school, you know, 13, 14 years old, when we started making music. That was like the beginning of that, where like the first DAWs were coming out and you could make music in a computer, which was like unheard of before. And I mean, it started happening in the mid 90s, but in like the early 2000s was like the first really quality, like there was some relative quality where you can actually make you know, chart topping songs fully in a computer, you know. And that began when we started doing it, and like, and it's just like to see it evolve and us evolving with it, you know, and just like how exponentially the growth has been with the evolution of technology and algorithms and what they can do. It's crazy, you know. And it's only going to get exponentially higher, you know. Another thing I was going to point out about what's cool about Synthopia is that we're also experimenting with putting the audiograph and script on chain, so that if someone wants to recreate their unique version of the song, like they'll have all the required data to do so, you know, without the need for a third party, you know. And also like collectors will be granted full music rights ownership, which I think is really important. So
Cool.
like you know, that you'll have the full music rights ownership of the unique song contained within your NFT, you know. So, and then not only you're able to download the stems or like the data to recreate it and do a remix of it, but also you can use it for as long as you own that NFT, you have the rights to use it in whatever way you want, you know, commercially, in Twitch streams and your monetized YouTube videos, whatever, you know. It's going to be completely up to you.
That is awesome. I've just looked at the time, and we've gone 37 minutes, and so I don't want to keep you too long because I know you guys are doing whitelist stuff as well. We just got off on a cool conversation. I really had a great time. Okay, but so here's what I got to know. First, whenever you guys do a live event, you start getting together to like play versions of this song, give me a ring. You got to send me a ping. We'll see if we can come out and cover it from Chainlink, because this is too cool to not cover. Two, I appreciate you coming so much. Please tell the people, where should they follow you and find out more about Synthopia? And are there any major things coming next in the next couple of days that we should keep our eyes out for?
Yeah, so we're currently doing the whitelist right now for Audioglyph, Gramatik NFT holders, and party degenerates. Those are in our Discord servers. So it's you can find those on Twitter.
We'll have the links down below too.
Links down below. Cool. Yeah. And then Synthopia.io is where the minting will take place. So tomorrow we're going to open up minting for the code holders. Like we said, you can get a code in our Discord servers if you're on the part of the snapshot. And then I believe on 3 days after that, there'll be a public mint for anything that's not minted during the code claiming.
So it's all happening this week. Code claiming, whitelisting, public mint. Strap in to Synthopia and do what you need to do. Follow everybody down there. NFT Boy, TR666, Lucas, Gramatik. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. Anytime.
All right, cool. I'm going to take it from here for just a minute. You guys can hang out, or you can peace out if you got to go take care of stuff. Thank you for joining us. What a great session. I have a background in some music history, and so get a chance to geek out with these fellas was so cool. I have a feeling we're going to look back on this in a couple of years as a pretty cool moment. I hope so, at least. Gramatik and I talked about this Moby quote where he talks about electronic music, and I found the movie. It's from a movie called Press Pause Play. It's from 10 years ago, but it's a Creative Commons free to download, so you can go look that up. It's just called Press Pause Play. It's on Vimeo. You can go see it, and it's a really cool thing about music and IP and all this sort of stuff. It's probably a little dated by now, but I used to assign it in my classes, and so that's where I know that quote. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. So more people see this video. It'll go around the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe so you see more announcements of videos like this. We do a couple per week with amazing projects like Synthopia. Let me see if I can find who we're doing next week. We got a couple of DeFi ones next week. I'm really looking forward to. WePiggy is a great name for a DeFi project. That's on Monday, super early on Eastern time. But they're this DeFi protocol that is on 7 different blockchains. So they are really multi-chain. And then we're also talking to Mintrust that just announced a Chainlink integration earlier this week. So come and check those out. You can follow at smart_contract for announcements when these are going to be. You can follow Chainlink at Chainlink for all these Chainlink official announcements. And you can follow me on Twitter too at Andy Boyan if you want to hear dad jokes and occasional Chainlink shilling type things. I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate you being around. We'll see you guys next time. Chainlink Live.